Truck prices are experiencing a historic collapse, leaving dealerships scrambling. Experts are calling it the truckpocalypse. Prices that once seemed untouchable are now dropping like flies. Is this a buying opportunity or a sign of a bigger economic problem? In this video, we'll give you the inside scoop on the truck market crash. We'll analyze the factors that led to the collapse, and most importantly, I'll tell you if now's the time to buy a truck. So stick around until the end of the video and don't forget to subscribe to the channel first. In 2023, the truck market was on edge because everyone could feel something was off. This discomfort was caused by the chaotic environment that the COVID-19 epidemic left behind. There was a shortage of components, particularly the high-tech computer chips that are essential to the operation of today's trucks. Consequently, few trucks were being produced, which caused many people to become angry. Now here's where things get weird. Even though the economy is feeling shaky and folks are starting to worry about recessions, truck prices refuse to budge. Dealerships are still slapping crazy markups on top of what the car companies are charging. Their excuse? People will need trucks. And after waiting so long, they're willing to pay whatever it takes to get behind the wheel. But the used truck market is starting to show cracks. Suddenly, those slightly older models aren't fetching the crazy high prices they used to. It's like the bubble is about to burst and everyone's holding their breath, wondering what's next. Amid all this madness, dealerships keep smiling and pushing sales like nothing's wrong. But behind the scenes, buyers are feeling the strain. They're wondering how long this frenzy can last and whether prices will ever come back down to earth. Earlier this year, savvy observers started raising an eyebrow, signaling that people were beginning to think twice about splurging on those shiny new, super expensive trucks. But would the big automakers pay attention? Over at Ford, Jim Farley made headlines in late 2023 in the wrong way. He shocked everyone by announcing that the prices for some of their best-selling trucks, like the big beefy F-Series pickups, were increasing for the 2024 model year. And we're not talking about just a little bump in price. We're talking thousands of dollars extra. Mary Barra at GM quickly followed suit, and suddenly everyone braced themselves for a major backlash. Those in the industry were left flabbergasted. Sure, manufacturing costs were a problem, but raising prices when people were already worried about their wallets seemed like a risky move. Maybe even a sign that the big bosses at the top were out of touch with what was really going on. Those extra thousands on the price tag were breaking point for many potential buyers. They had already been gritting their teeth through the delays and markups, but this was the final straw. When those shiny new 2024 trucks started rolling into dealerships, some folks still bought them. But let me tell you, they weren't just expensive, they were eye-wateringly expensive. In February 2024, those shiny new pickup trucks gathered dust on dealership lots. A big problem was brewing because many trucks ordered in 2023 only rolled into dealerships well into the new year. Those supply chain hiccups took way longer to sort out than anyone thought. Ford and Ram were feeling the squeeze the most. Ford dealerships were drowning in unsold 2023 F-150s, those workhorse trucks that are usually their bread and butter. Same deal with those Ram 1500s. There were just too many hanging around. Now, having both the 2023 models and the spanking new 2024 trucks on the lot simultaneously, major headache. Those 2023 models couldn't magically turn into newer ones because the calendar flipped, and they weren't any cheaper to make. Yet those pricier 2024s were rolling in daily, putting even more pressure on dealerships. Unlike Ford, where Jim Farley seemed dead set on keeping those high prices, Chevy and Ram started feeling the heat. Chevrolet kicked things off by offering crazy discounts on their Silverado pickups. We're talking advertised at 15% off MSRP, which is unheard of in the wild world of truck sales. Ram didn't waste any time matching those discounts on their trucks, and the battle was on. Dealerships were pulling out all the stops to move inventory. They had to get super creative, with trucks piling up and customer traffic slowing down. We're talking 0% financing deals for 84 months, 7 long years. Something you'd usually see for more miniature, less expensive rides. And if you thought that was all, well, there's more. Some dealers, desperate to move those trucks off their lots, have been pulling out all the stops. We're talking cashback incentives of up to $55,000 to lure buyers. You can't escape it. Advertisements are everywhere, from local newspapers to blasting from the TV, and even plastered on those giant inflatable gorillas outside dealerships shouting about the deals of the century. The biggest discounts, though, have been saved for the real heavyweights. The beasts like the Ram 2500 and Ford F-Series Super Duty line. Take the Ram 2500 Laramie, for example. Back in the late 2022, one of those bad boys could easily set you back around $80,000. But fast forward to January 2024, and some dealers are knocking off over $20,000 from that price tag. It's practically unheard of. Even the popular mid-size contenders like the Ford F-150 are getting in on the action. Suddenly, buyers eyeing those pricey 2024 models might find themselves snagging a well-equipped 2023 F-150 XLT for significantly less. The usual pricing game in the truck market has been completely flipped upside down. Of course, there are still some models holding out against these discounts. Think of the Ford Maverick, those versatile little pickups that people can't get enough of. They're still in short supply, so dealers stick with those inflated prices. However, even the mighty Ford Bronco, the off-road icon, is starting to show some cracks. Some dealers are willing to sell those closer to MSRP rather than slapping on those crazy markups we saw in 2023. Remember the frenzy around the Ram TRX and the Ford Raptor? Those off-road beasts with horsepower figures that would make a sports car blush. They were the industry's darlings in 2022 and early 2023. Dealers could barely keep them in stock, often charging way above MSRP. But fast forward to late 2023 and the picture isn't so rosy. Even those behemoths aren't immune to the market downturn. Dealers are starting to offer significant discounts. Think 10 to 15% off the sticker price. A pretty penny considering a loaded Ram TRX could quickly push past the $100,000 mark. In 2023, the Raptor saw similar price cuts, and suddenly those once invincible trucks are facing genuine competition from more reasonably priced models. However, the super truck segment is just the tip of the iceberg. Luxury truck models are getting hammered even worse. Loaded out versions of the Ram 1500 Limited or the Ford F-150 Platinum, once symbols of excess with leather everywhere and fancy tech, are now sitting on dealership lots practically begging people to buy them, with discounts reaching 20% or more in some cases. Industry analysts sound the alarm about the long-term consequences of the situation. Steve Randall, a veteran automotive journalist with over 20 years of experience, warns that this kind of deep discounting can seriously damage the brand image of these high-end trucks. It shows desperation, and luxury buyers don't respond well to that. He says he's not wrong. The resale value is likely to take a severe hit as well. When people saw a slightly used Raptor or TRX a few years back, they knew they were getting a premium product. But buyers will remember this period, which could make them hesitant to pay top dollar for a used truck from this era, even a few years later. The big question now is whether the market crash will cause a fundamental shift in what truck buyers want. The craze of extreme performance, substantial price tags, and borderline excessive luxury might be fading. Suddenly, the idea of a capable, well-equipped truck at a more sensible price seems much more appealing, especially with lingering economic uncertainty. Manufacturers are paying attention. There are whispers of plans being scaled back for future model year updates on some performance and luxury trims. Even in the face of massive discounts, it's getting harder and harder to find buyers willing to stomach the inflated prices on these top-of-the-line models. Let's detour from the gas-guzzling truck world and explore how the electric newcomers handle this market turmoil. The Ford F-150 Lightning was arguably the most anticipated electric truck in ages. It was well received when it finally started rolling off production lines in mid-2022. Early reviewers praised its performance, practicality, and tech-forward features. However, the hype-driven demand quickly outpaced supply, and those early trucks were snatched up at a hefty premium. As we fast forward to late 2023, the truck market has dramatically transformed. While the Ford F-150 Lightning's production has increased, it now finds itself in a market flooded with heavily discounted traditional F-150 models. The initial excitement for cutting-edge electric trucks is now competing with significantly reduced prices on familiar gasoline-powered trucks, creating a rough decision for consumers. Adding to the challenge is the ongoing concern about charging infrastructure. Despite improvements, the charging network still lacks the convenience of gas stations. This, coupled with range anxiety, makes potential electric truck buyers hesitate, especially those who rely on their trucks for long-distance work or towing. However, it's not all bad news for the electric truck segment. Rivian, an adventure-focused EV startup, has maintained a relatively strong demand for its R1T pickup by targeting niche markets with high-end features and off-road capability. They found a loyal customer base willing to pay a premium. Now, what do you guys think about this crash? Do let us know in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button on your way out. See you in the next video.